The SpyCloud Active Directory Guardian integration allows customers to detect and remediate exposed passwords in their Active Directory environment. Creating a schedule is a common use case, so let's take a look at that process. First, we give it a name and choose a frequency. I'm going to call this IDLink scan, so I can show that off. We're going to go every day, but you can have every day, every other day, every week, or every month. Schedule names do have to be unique, which helps different types of scans or remediation paths be clear, and not every scan be named daily scan. So we're going to pick a runtime. I'll pick about 2:15 a.m. And then for SpyCloud breach records, we can choose the period where we're going to obtain breach records from. So we can have all records, last 6 months, last 3 months, last month, last week, or last day. For IDLink, we're going to choose last day. Most customers will want to scan the local Active Directory, and then there are options to limit what is scanned. Skipping accounts with expired passwords or disabled accounts. We can even configure inclusions and exclusions for different scans that you might have. Azure Active Directory functionality has been deprecated. We have released Intra-ID Guardian, which has a significantly improved architecture, and customers needing cloud-native scanning should contact SpyCloud. The next step in the schedule creation process is to set the match types for password scanning and the remediation policy that you want to follow for each. There are a handful of them, and we will go over them one at a time. Exact matches is always enabled by default, and this detects exact matches from our breach catalog that matched your records in your Active Directory. We're going to set that to a forced reset, even though this is an IDLink daily review, because anytime we find an exact match, we should definitely remediate that. Next is the banned passwords list. The banned passwords list is configured here in advanced settings, where you can upload lists of banned passwords. Fuzzy matches is a way of taking existing provided passwords and doing additional matching to detect common password variations. This option, check against all known compromised passwords, will scan against the entirety of SpyCloud's breach catalog. But today we're going to pick check against IDLink matches. What does that mean? Well, the tooltip can give more information, but essentially IDLink finds breach records for that enterprise user, and within those breach records, IDLink Analytics discovers more identity markers and follows those pivots for additional breach records. And so what we will want to do there is not a forced reset, but we're going to pick no policy, and we will look at those and apply a remediation case by case when they happen. Within audit type, you can check for shared passwords, where passwords are shared between users, especially for users who have multiple accounts and admin accounts. Additionally, you have some advanced settings here where when you've configured email, can get a completion email or a failure email, and you can attach the CSV report of the scan completion to the email, which is really handy. So we're going to go ahead and save this. Now you see here I have two different schedules configured. Another feature new to ADG 7.2 is the ability to import and export this configuration. So as this configuration overall gets more and more complicated with remediation and schedules, we have the ability to export that and import that later, knowing that we can set up our configuration again easily. Let's take a look at a prior scan so we don't have to wait for one to run. I'm going to show you a couple of remediation options that are available. This is a manual scan that I did with IDLink and shared passwords. Here we can see that the enterprise identities came back with an IDLink match for a password, which means that somewhere this enterprise user identity is on the internet in a breach, likely already remediated, but has been in breaches and is in our breach catalog, and that identity crossed over with parts of their personal identity. So they might be reusing passwords from some external service, now that they have reused on our system. So we can choose to take action on those as we feel necessary for remediation. Here in results, this is also new to ADG 7.2. These are our shared password users, and we can look through here and see maybe where some might just be happenstance, but we can also see where perhaps a user has decided to share a password between their admin account and their regular account. We can take an action and force a password reset and take care of that. Thank you for your time.